Have you ever wondered what if the secret to staying young wasn't hidden in a laboratory, but blooming quietly in a fragile purple flower? Each autumn, for only 2 short weeks, fields in Persia and Kashmir come alive, blanketed in delicate lilac petals. And at the heart of every flower lie 3 tiny crimson threads, hand-picked at dawn, dried with care, and treasured for over 3,000 years. They call it saffron, the red gold of the ancient world. But to those who worked the land, it was never about luxury or wealth. It was about life itself, color, warmth, vitality. Across ancient civilizations, Persian, Greek, Indian, saffron was more than a spice. It was a symbol of renewal, a healer of the body and the spirit. Priests burned it in temples as incense for the divine. Mothers steeped it in milk to soothe the weary. Artists and poets wrote of its glow, calling it the sunlight of the soul. Even today, when you hold a single thread of saffron, you're holding centuries of patience, care, and quiet wisdom. It takes nearly 75,000 flowers to make just 1 single pound of saffron. And yet, inside that pound lies enough energy to color thousands of meals and brighten countless hearts. What is it about this humble thread that continues to captivate humanity? Why has it remained cherished through empires, dynasties, and generations? Perhaps because saffron carries something timeless, a memory of balance, a reminder that nature's power is often hidden in the smallest, most fragile forms. Today, we'll journey beyond its beauty and legend. We'll explore what modern science is now discovering about saffron's astonishing chemistry, its power to protect our cells, lift our mood, and keep our minds youthful and bright. But before we begin, take a breath. Look at the warm light in your cup, and remember, you're not just watching a story about a spice. You're witnessing the golden thread that connects ancient wisdom to modern healing. Welcome to Healing Good Life. Let's begin the journey. Part 1. An Ancient Elixir. Long before we had laboratories or vitamin supplements, people looked to nature for vitality, for something that could awaken both body and spirit. And among all the treasures the earth offered, saffron was unlike anything else. Its story begins over 3,000 years ago, in the golden valleys of Persia and the high plains of Kashmir. There, farmers would wake before dawn, their hands cold from the mountain air, to harvest the purple blossoms of the crocus sativus. Each flower offered only 3 crimson threads, and by midday, when the sun rose too high, the petals would close. The chance was gone. It was an act of devotion, not just labor. To gather saffron was to understand patience, precision, and respect. Ancient healers believed saffron carried the warmth of the sun itself. They brewed it into tonics to strengthen the heart, used it to lift sadness and calm anxiety. It was said that even just the scent of saffron could brighten a heavy mind. In Ayurvedic medicine, saffron was known as kesar, a symbol of purity, radiance, and divine energy. It was believed to ignite the inner fire, balancing emotion and metabolism alike. In Persian tradition, it was steeped in milk for mothers recovering from childbirth, mixed into sweet rice for celebrations of love and new beginnings, and in ancient Greece, legends spoke of saffron's healing touch, how it was used to soothe battle wounds and restore vitality to weary travelers. The poet Homer even described saffron dawns that spread warmth over the sleeping earth. Every civilization found a way to weave saffron into both medicine and meaning. It became a bridge between body and soul, a reminder that health was never just physical. It was emotional, spiritual, energetic. But as centuries passed, modern life began to lose touch with that rhythm. We learned to measure nutrients and molecules, but forgot the art of slowing down. And yet, saffron remains, a humble survivor of both time and technology. Even in today's high-tech world, we still find ourselves drawn to its golden glow. Perhaps because it whispers something we've forgotten, that true healing begins not with rushing, but with reverence, with noticing, with gratitude for what's small, rare, and alive. So as we move from myth to modernity, let's look at what science now says about this ancient elixir, and how those golden threads might help us not just live longer, but live younger. Part 2. Saffron's Chemical Blueprint. For centuries, saffron was known for what it did, but not for why it worked. Its beauty was intuitive, its effect undeniable. But now, science is beginning to catch up with what ancient healers already sensed. Inside every delicate red thread lies a universe of chemistry, a living code of color, fragrance, and healing. The first is crocin, the compound that gives saffron its deep, golden hue. Crocin is a powerful antioxidant, meaning it protects our cells from oxidative stress, the same process that causes aging, fatigue, and cellular decay. It helps the body clear away unstable molecules called free radicals, which silently damage tissues over time. Think of it as a guardian of your inner glow. Then there is safranal, the aromatic oil that gives saffron its warm, honey-like scent. Beyond fragrance, safranal works within the nervous system, helping balance serotonin and dopamine, the messengers of joy, calm, and motivation. Modern studies suggest that even small amounts can support emotional stability and ease the fatigue that so often comes with stress. And finally, picrocrocin, the compound behind saffron's subtle bitterness. It may not taste sweet, but it plays an essential role in metabolism and recovery. It helps cells repair themselves after damage and supports the body's natural detox pathways. Together, these three molecules form a kind of symphony of resilience. They don't act like a drug. They harmonize like nature intended. Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, neuroprotective. In the language of modern biology, this means saffron may slow the shortening of telomeres, those tiny caps at the end of our DNA strands that determine how gracefully our cells age. It may also enhance mitochondrial energy, allowing every cell to function with more vitality and less waste. And in the language of the heart, it means this: saffron helps us feel more alive. It doesn't freeze time. It teaches our cells to age with grace. Researchers today are only scratching the surface, but the evidence is clear. These golden threads don't just color food. They color life itself, bringing brightness not just to the plate, but to the mind and the spirit. So the next time you hold a pinch of saffron in your hand, remember, you're holding a miniature pharmacy, crafted not by human invention, but by nature's patience. And this natural design is what science now calls the blueprint of youth. Part 3. The Science Speaks. When tradition and intuition meet science, something beautiful happens. We begin to understand why the things that heal us have always felt right. In the last 2 decades, researchers around the world have turned their eyes to saffron, not as a myth, but as a measurable medicine. In 2021, a study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology tested saffron extract on adults aged 50 and above. After 12 weeks, participants showed sharper memory, clearer attention, and lower signs of mental fatigue. Another trial, in 2022, reported in Frontiers in Nutrition, revealed that saffron supplementation reduced oxidative stress and improved emotional resilience in people facing chronic anxiety. Their sleep improved, and their sense of calm deepened. Not because saffron sedated them, but because it supported the body's natural rhythm. Even the eyes, Our windows to the soul seem to benefit from this golden gift. Clinical research in Italy found that saffron may help slow the progression of age-related macular degeneration, a condition that dims vision with age. In patients who took daily saffron for 3 months, retinal cells became more responsive to light. The world literally became brighter. And beyond mood and memory, scientists are exploring saffron's potential to protect the heart, balance blood sugar, and ease inflammation in the digestive system. Each discovery confirms what healers long ago described in simpler words: to strengthen life from the inside out. Yet, science also teaches humility. Not every benefit is fully proven. Not every result can be replicated yet. But the trend is undeniable. Saffron stands among nature's most promising allies for healthy aging and emotional balance. It's not about chasing youth forever. It's about nourishing the systems that make youth possible: our brain, our mood, our eyes, our heart. And perhaps that's why modern researchers speak of saffron not as a supplement, but as a functional food, something that bridges nourishment and therapy, flavor and function, body and spirit. When you think about it, that's exactly how the ancients saw it too. So as we leave the laboratory and return to the kitchen, the next question is simple. How can we invite saffron back into our daily lives in a way that's practical, mindful, and true to its essence? Part 4. Bringing saffron into daily life. Now that we know what saffron can do, the next question becomes, how can we bring it into our everyday lives? Because true healing doesn't happen in rare moments of discovery. It happens in small, daily rituals. And saffron, humble, fragrant, golden, fits beautifully into that rhythm. You don't need much. In fact, saffron teaches moderation. A few threads a day, just 3 to 5, can already work their quiet magic. One of the simplest ways is through saffron tea. Soak a few strands in warm water for 10 minutes. Watch as the color blooms, from clear to gold, from gold to amber. Add a touch of honey or a squeeze of lemon if you like. Then take a moment before you drink. Let it be more than hydration. Let it be a pause, a mindful act of gratitude. Or you can make golden milk. Warm a cup of milk or almond milk, add saffron and a tiny pinch of turmeric. Stir slowly until the hues merge like a sunset in a cup. This ancient combination calms the nerves, eases digestion, and helps the body unwind before rest. For those who love to cook, add saffron water to your rice, soups, or desserts. Its aroma lifts the mood even before the first bite. And if you prefer supplements, standardized saffron extracts, around 30 to 50 milligrams a day, have been studied for mood and cognitive support. But remember, more isn't better. Saffron is potent. Stay within balance, especially if you're pregnant or taking medication for mood or blood pressure. Always consult your doctor before turning it into a habit. And a small note on quality. True saffron blooms slowly in warm water, its color deepening with patience. If it turns bright red too fast, it's likely synthetic or dyed. Let the thread teach you this simple truth. Authentic things take time. When you prepare saffron mindfully, you're not just nurturing your body, you're nurturing your awareness. It reminds us that healing can be beautiful, and that the smallest details can carry the greatest power. So tonight, as you sip that golden cup, know that you are continuing a tradition shared by thousands of generations before you. A quiet act of renewal, one that begins not in the body, but in the heart. Part 5. The balance of cost and value. We often hear people say, saffron is the most expensive spice in the world. And yes, it is. Ounce for ounce, it costs more than gold, but its real worth was never meant to be measured in dollars or weight. Its value is written in patience, in devotion, in the quiet rhythm of hands that rise before dawn to harvest something fleeting and beautiful. Each gram of saffron comes from tens of thousands of blossoms, each blossom opened by nature for only a few hours. It takes hundreds of human hands to gather what will later fill a single small jar. That's not just agriculture. It's artistry. It's mindfulness turned into motion. When you hold even a pinch of true saffron, you're holding time itself. Time from the fields, from the sun, from every person who touched it with care. And when you use it, you're invited to do the same. To treat it not as a luxury, but as a teacher. Saffron reminds us that the rarest things in life are not defined by quantity, but by presence. It asks us to slow down, to savor, to be fully aware of the moment we live in, because when we pause long enough to notice color, fragrance, and warmth, we begin to understand this is what wealth truly feels like. So yes, saffron may be costly, but maybe the real question isn't, is it worth the price? Maybe it's, what do we gain when we honor something so carefully made? In that sense, saffron is more than spice. It's a small, fragrant reminder that value doesn't come from possession, but from appreciation. And that understanding is itself a form of youth, a way of living that keeps the heart soft, the senses awake, and the spirit quietly rich. So, is saffron truly the fountain of youth? Maybe not in the way legends once promised. It won't stop the clock, erase time, or freeze our reflection in the mirror. But maybe it offers something deeper. A lesson in patience. A reminder that the most powerful forms of renewal don't come from resisting change, but from embracing it. Saffron teaches us that beauty isn't in permanence. It's in presence, in being awake to each breath, each color, each season of our life. Each thread of saffron is a story of transformation, a fragile flower that blooms for just a few hours at dawn, then fades by midday. Yet in that short moment, it gives the world its color, its warmth, its healing. Perhaps that's what staying young really means. Not fighting time, but learning to live within it, fully, gratefully, gently. Youth is not about skin or strength. It's about spirit. The willingness to keep discovering, to keep loving, to keep glowing, even through change. So the next time you brew saffron in warm milk, or sprinkle its golden hue over your meal, pause for a moment. Let its color remind you of the sunlight that lives within you. A light that doesn't age, doesn't fade, doesn't depend on years. You are that light. Saffron simply helps you remember it. And maybe that's the real secret the ancients knew, that healing isn't just about adding years to life, but adding life to your years. So tonight, take a deep breath, sip your tea slowly, and whisper a quiet thank you for the gift of time, for the patience of nature, and for the simple beauty of being alive. Because youth is not something we chase. It's something we nurture, moment by moment, with presence, kindness, and grace. Thank you for watching Healing Good Life. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who could use a little light today. And remember, the golden thread of healing has always been within you.